Hail so fellow travelers, I am EXPless and I would like to present to you a tier list of each of the Travelers Guild's manifests. Wait, we use the word tier in Orna as well. Whatever. I'll do my best to avoid that kind of confusion. Now for an explanation. I will rank each manifest on a scale from S to F, S being the best and F being the worst. The order within each rank is not indicative of anything. I just threw them onto the chart as I saw fit. Also, sorry if you found images of my rankings and weren't given that little bit of information with it. There is a caveat. There will be cases where manifests work better for others for certain roles, such as dealing damage, healing, etc. I try my best to consider all parts of the manifests to give them an overall ranking, but that turned out to be very difficult. For most of the manifests, I tried not to consider their actual stats due to those being primarily based on level. A very important note as well. The manifests, compared to their codex counterpart, do not have any status immunities. The skills and spells, along with the element weaknesses, resistances, and immunities are all the same though. I will only be going through the manifests from tier 1 to tier 4. No, I will not be doing the other tiers. Not now, not ever. Someone else can do that. Tier 1 has a fairly low amount of monsters and bosses, which both makes for an easier time analyzing them, but also means that there's not really many good options to choose from. 2, hopefully, nobody's surprised, the slimes are at the bottom. While each slime does have more than absolutely nothing, they're not good by any means. Rat can attack and defend. Yup, that's it. Not good. We do, however, get introduced to the lowest tier event monster, Frightening Skeleton. Frightening Skeleton is found during the October event. Boo! Skeleton is the same as the Frightening Skeleton, just less spooky. Snake has no venom, not that it would necessarily be useful here. Spider, isn't a spider? Why does it only have 6 legs? And the last entry into F rank, Sprout. Sporting a squeaky clean 0 skills and boasting a powerful 1 weakness to fire, it proudly crumbles into dust as the worst of tier 1. Congrats to you, Sprout. Barbarian can buff itself, which could make it usable at a high enough level, but not early on. Charge is alright. Bat can bite, which is something. Crow having Peck, which has a 50% chance to cause bleeding, is pretty good against higher health enemies, but that's kind of it. Goblin Mage has 3 different element spells: Flame, Frost, and Spark. Unfortunately for it, there's only 1 monster with a weakness to fire and 1 monster with a weakness to lightning, at least within tier 1. Plus, there's a better option that has similar access to element damage. Gull is the same as Bat, but with a water resistance and earthen immunity. But again, better options are ahead. Sea Serpent could be considered alright due to having Osmo Strike, but low damage means low healing. As expected, Undead can bite and scratch ya. Sorry. Scratch is like Peck, but with only a 10% chance to bleed. Somewhat surprisingly, I place the Fallen Trio in C rank. Fallen Mage acts as a stronger Goblin Mage, but that's about it. Fallen Thief has Smoke Bomb, which can help. And Fallen Warrior is actually a solid contender, having Warcry for an attack and Lunge, which has a 50% crit chance. Jelly is here primarily due to having a resistance to fire and physical, and an immunity to water, the most common things you'll see in this tier. Plus, it has Freeze, allowing for some slight turn stalling and anti-missing protection. Lobster has Double Cut, which is a good enough skill for me, but that's kind of it. Mimic is odd. I know I don't want to consider health too often, as leveling the manifests is the solution to that, but Mimic has really, really bad health. Distortion is better than Battle Dance, because it can debuff the enemy, and Curse is alright if you're facing a boss, but its survivability is really bad. Bandit Lord and his little bandit friend sit firmly within B rank. Bandit Lord has a fair amount of health, along with Lunge, while Bandit has Lunge and Fire Strike. Little Wisp is just on the border between B and A rank. It has Heal, which can target other manifests. Spark and Flame are alright, but it sits pretty with a resistance to physical. While the resistances to the base 4 elements, plus Holy and Dark, which don't matter in tier 1 at all, are nice, its real strength is with the skill Slash, the highest penetration skill among the tier 1 manifests. Good for taking down tanky foes, such as Minotaur. It's the same skill set as Bandit Lord, but with a significant improvement to its health. Treasure it if you have it, fear it if you face it. And finally, Goblin Lord sits firmly in S rank. While there are a grand total of 3 enemies with weaknesses to one of the 4 base elements within Tier 1, its substantial health and ability to turnstile with Freeze and Shock leave it well above the rest. In all, Tier 1 doesn't have much to offer, either in terms of manifests or interesting builds. My personal choice for a Tier 1 team would be Goblin Lord, Minotaur, and Little Wisp. Tier 2 starts off similarly to Tier 1. Draconian Warrior and Goblin Warrior have skill issues. Great Sprout is somehow worse than Sprout. Greater Snake is Snake, but with poison, really should just be Poison Strike. Rubbish. A Sleeping Vampire is an easy-to-kill vampire, and Wolfman not helpful enough. Black Widow still isn't actually a spider, but at least it can bite now. Buried, just like it will be if you take it into a trial. Earth Immunity and Tremor 2? Hooray! Earthworm has heal, but its health is about the same as a real worm. Walking Dead is just a Tier 2 undead. Bear is strong as is, and Warcry can help make it a little stronger. Demon's immunity to dark may come in handy on occasion. Feral Horse has Trample, which can dish out a fair bit of damage with a few levels, or if you can buff it. Flame is bad at fighting itself, but otherwise alright if you like fire. Just keep it away from forests and oceans. Nat. Drain and Poison Strike with a resistance to Earthen. Lazar Warrior. A decent blend of a little bit of damaging and not dying. Ice Strike has a chance to freeze, 2 element resists, and Lunge is alright. Alright. Hear me out. Yes, it's weak to the base 4 elements, Holy and Dark, but it has ward skills. It may not stay alive long, but can keep other things alive a little longer. And if it does live long enough to attack, it has Slash. But yeah, probably should be in D rank, but if you get it high enough level, it might be worthwhile. Arachne is a boss. Kind of it, hence why it's C rank.
Hawk, having a resistance to Earthen and Hack and Slash, very middle of the pack. Spark is a nice addition, but you're not getting much out of it.
But here's where we get some actual goodies. Draconian Mage is Goblin Mage, but with Drain, which, while it won't necessarily help the other manifests you use, it can at least partially not die itself. Evil Eye is worse than Draconian Mage, but having all 4 elements at its disposal is pretty okay. Demon Prince can Distortion to raise its own stats, lower the opponents, then destroy them with either Meteor or Nightmare. A solid combo of skills that can benefit the other manifests. Just make sure to check for Fire and Dark immunities. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. And finally, for S rank, we have Draconian Lord, and oh hey, look, it has Heal! See? Earthworm doesn't look so hot now, does it? And for some reason, it has the skill Focus. But Draconian Lord, despite wielding a staff, only has melee skills. It's basically a melee version of Draconian Mage, but with healing, self-buffing, and more health. Thus concluding our rankings for Tier 2. Overall, still not great in terms of options, but at least you have a boss with healing. Personal team picks are Draconian Lord, Demon Prince, and Ghost. Debuff with the Demon Prince, kill with Draconian Lord, and go to sleep whatever you're not actively damaging. God, the number of manifests just keep growing absurdly fast. I'll do my best to keep it brief, but still somewhat informative. Golem looks cooler than its actual usefulness. Mithril Armor is worse than other options by a long shot, even with ward skills. Why does Ogre even have Tremor? Doesn't suddenly make it good or a threat. Don't get me wrong, I love Flurry as a skill, just not on this thing. Slash is back, and it's mad it's on an F rank manifest. Shadow is cool, but meh. Too much resists or is immune to dark in Tier 3. Oh look, it's awake now, and it still sucks. Hey, it learned how to bite and scratch, and poison. Again, not having Poison Strike. Come on. It's Ogre, but with Tremor 2, Protection, a weakness to fire, and immunity to Earthen. Could be considered D rank if you like, but I won't. Why would you take away its healing ability? Has a dex buff? The most useless buff in the early game? Nice. Third time's the charm? Still no, but at least it has Ozma Strike, I guess. Evil Eyes decided to get rid of its usefulness to learn Spark 2 and gain immunity to lightning. Greater Demon isn't actually greater than a demon. A Hound from Hell. Therefore, it has Flame 2 and Dark Resistance? Take away Goblin's immunities and what do you get? This trash. Aw heck, why don't we give it Fire Strike and Ice Strike to compromise? That'll make it all better. Imp is honestly almost C rank. Curse is 10% damage per turn, plus it has heal. but it could use either a little more health or a dark resistance or immunity. Lizard Knight. Lizard Warrior just without scratch. Want to know the difference between a Lizard Knight and a Lizard Noble? Ice Strike.
Seaweed. 50% sea, 50% weed.
Frost and Tremor are whatever by this point. It's a flame, but blue. Still don't have it fight itself. Draconian Rogue is a better Draconian Warrior. Draugr is a better Draconian Rogue? Fallen Knight is all alone in C rank. He's not actually that bad given his Fire, Ice, and Lightning Strike, it's just that there's better. I promise he won't bite, though he will lunge out at times. I really gotta stop making jokes. He has Heal, which puts him fairly close to B rank. Hobgoblin Mage, like a Goblin Mage, just without Drain. Lesser Slew, yes, it's pronounced like that. Like Mimic, but instead of stat up and downs, it has Confuse, Curse, and oh god, Great Heal? Alright, cool. Still terrible health though. B rank is kind of a mixed bag. Honestly, even working on this script, I'm still debating on swapping some of the C and B rank options, but I wanted to get this video out at some point, so some of these are settled choices. Lost Pharaoh only has Curse, but it has health and immunity to Dark. It could honestly be C rank, but I think the health is worth it. Draconian Acolyte has Quake instead of Tremor 2. No idea why, but I'll take it. Oh, that's where Tremor 2 went. Oh, and it has Drain. Nice. Fallen Archmage is just Draugr Mage, but alive. Fire Arrow and Ice Arrow have higher chances to cause their respective debuffs than Fire Strike and Ice Strike. Double Cut is alright too. Fallen Witch is debuff city. Go nuts on that turnstile. It's got resistance to the 4 base elements, Holy and Dark, and has Distortion. I'd take this over Draconian Acolyte and Fallen Archmage, but Draugr Mage having Drain is nice, so they're kind of tied. Wait, didn't I put you in F rank? Oh god. Trick is 100% chance to cause Doom and Confused. Treat is healing for 9,999 health, gives 10 ward turns and 100% absorption. I'm not sure if you can target other manifests with that, but if you can, I'm moving him to S tier. Sadly, it's part of the October event, The Hollowed, so we won't know for a bit. I'll update the description when we know for sure. Lizard Lord is just like Lizard Noble, but add on Heal, Blizzard, Focus, and Boss Health. Lord of Wolves has Great Heal and Lunge, a healthy combo. Twilight Knight, basically just Boss Health Fallen Knight, without protection and magically has Earth Strike? Seriously, what is it with the Earth element in the early game? Hobgoblin Lord has Flame, Frost, Spark, and Tremor 3. Good stuff. Now here's where it gets fun. Demon Knight. Boss Health? Check. Great Heal? Check. Ward Skills? Double check. This thing is how you survive. Draugr Lord. Blight Strike has a 90% chance to cause Blight. Stall turns and then Omni Strike to beat him into the ground. Damage is good. And my personal top pick for tier 3, Dark Mage. Because boy is this thing good. Heal for the others, Drain for itself, Meteor, Blizzard, Storm, Quake, and Nightmare. Plus resistance to those same 5 elements. What's not to love about this thing? My personal pick for a tier 3 team is Demon Knight, Draugr Lord, and Dark Mage. Alright, so I am not going to include the 24 bosses from the Paths of Moria event. I don't know if their weird mechanics work in the trials, and we won't know until it comes back as an event. If their weird mechanics work in trials, don't use the warrior or mage bosses. The thief ones are somewhat safe to use, and the Valhallan summoner ones are all S rank. The 4 crust bosses are probably A rank just for the amount of health they have, though Summoner having Osmo and Omni Strike is nice, and Automna has Aerostorm, also nice. With that out of the way, we continue on to our last rankings, and good golly is this one long. I'll do my best to keep it as brief as I can without leaving out too much. Cave Bat. Cobra actually has Poison Strike. Cyclops and Orc Brute, also skill issues. Fomorian Warrior is afraid of the dark. Greater Vampire isn't actually greater. Magma Golem is just a cooler golem, or wait, would it be hotter? And Small Mollusk actually likes boiling water. Buzzard, because Flurry is cool. The Knot Spider lost its ability to bite again. Do not get a geology degree. Why do you look familiar? Oh, that's why. Don't eat the yellow snow. Go to sleep. Would be good if he could put his bloodlust to use. Flurry is, wait a minute, better than Frostcore, but not much. shockingly bad. Hey, this Wolfman bites. I said, go to. Drake is a flame core, but without fire immunity or weakness to water. So, pretty okay. Still not great. Bears can dance? Lich.
1% evil, 99% hot gas.
Well, this stinks.
Rotten Slime has Blight Strike, which is kinda sickening. Trick or Treat, I'll even give you a second chance. Wait, why does it have second chance? Alright, enough with the sillies. Well, maybe not all of them. On to the B rank choices. Unfortunately, similar to Tier 3, they're also questionable. Some could be A rank, and some A rank could be B rank. Camazote's got that drain too, baby! Just because Carmen's Gargoyle can't petrify things doesn't make it bad per se. Tectonic Plates with a boss health bar. Just spam Aerostar Tomb like every tamer wants it to. Dark Elf. Lich, but with Bloodlust. Protect your allies. Aine and Finn are somewhat interesting. Toxic Strike is only a 10% chance, but Miasma and Alpha Dart are there to help you. Could be good for DOT and Turnstall. Why does this one also have second chance? Mimicking is immune to the base 4 elements, and it has Prism Wall. Use it on your other manifests.
It is past your bedtime!
Oh look! Healing! Now this is Bloodlust. Scary Skeleton. Wallop, Ozma Strike 3, repeat. Fomorian Mage is Dark Mage, but without Drain and needs to be Prism Walled. Oh, that's where Drain went. Blast it all to smithereens! All without worrying about those pesky elements. And now for S rank, and Tier 4 does not hold back. Great Heal and Comet, what more do you want? Petrify, the ultimate turn skipper. You want something dead? Bloodlust? Then Onslaught. Lacuna for 50% chance to stasis a single enemy, Lacunas for 10% chance on each enemy. It's like Petrify, but with damage. Miracle for healing and a slight defense and res buff. Dispel to get rid of everything else. As you can see, Tier 4 gets a lot of options for what I would consider good for building a team. Even better, you can mix and match the S and some of the A rank manifests to make an optimal team. Fomorian Lord or Orc Lord as top picks for damaging, Fomorian Lord preferred for the great heal. You could use Troll, Alfar, Scary Skeleton, Fomorian Mage, Gazer, or Gnome as replacements. Gargoyle or Connell for turnstalling. Connell preferred due to being able to cause damage to either a single or multiple targets while having a chance to turnstall. Spooky Ghost, Aine, Finn, Yokai, and Geist are alright replacements. Fairy for healing and removing debuffs. If you just want healing, Fomorian Lord and Troll are your next best bets. Alternatively, Yeti can be used for its high health and ability to buff defense and resistance. So while you wouldn't get healing, you at least won't die quickly. And that's it. Thank you all for watching. I am EXPless, and I hope RNG is in your favor.